Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the views so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the shoe.
Hey everybody, welcome back to a quick beer review. I am fired up for this beer. Fidens beer. It's been a little bit since we've had some Fidens. And this is Socratic Questioning 42. And I feel like this beer was brewed just for me. This is Fidens' take on a West Coast double IPA. I love that it's Socratic Questioning 42. 42 is my favorite number. It was my baseball number growing up. It is tattooed on my body. I'm a 42 guy. I think it's in my Untappd handle. It's in my Twitter handle. I know that. My son decided to wear 42. We're a 42 family, so it's cool that number 42 was a West Coast double IPA. 8.4% alcohol by volume. It says experimental as far as the hops go. I remember looking at this when it first got released. I want to say this has Citra and Nelson at least in it. There might be some old school hops in it too. From what I gathered, Steve from Fidens has hung out a couple times on the West Coast at North Park and kind of talked to those guys about brewing clear beers. And I think this is kind of his first take on a West Coast style, the new school West Coast style IPA. So super stoked. I love checking out East Coast takes on West Coast IPA. We just got a box of beer from Roaring Table, so it was a Midwest take on a West Coast IPA, which was awesome. So I'm looking forward to this. I mean, Fidens makes amazing hazy beer, but I've never had a clear beer from them. I don't know if they've ever released a clear beer before, so here we are. Look at us, here we are. Canned on May 27th, my oldest son's birthday. Look at this. There's just so many things about this beer that I just am stoked on. Today is June 22nd, so we are 3 weeks in the can. Hashtag Team Old IPA. Is it too old? It might be. Into the Fidens glass, because you guys know beer tastes better in proper glassware. And look at that clear beer flow. I love that I'm seeing clear beer out of a Fidens can. This beer, it could get an unfair grade today. Unfair review. It is 85 degrees in North County, San Diego with 85% humidity. It is miserable today. There were some thunderstorms this afternoon. I feel like I live in the Midwest. It is awful out here. I'm sweating. I am super thirsty. I just feel like maybe this might be a little unfair to this beer. I might say it's way better than it actually is because I'm so parched and thirsty and hot. But yeah, it looks the part. There is a chill haze on this beer, but I can see my finger through it. It is that cool, sunshiny yellow. Probably looks darker on camera because I sit at a red video game. I say that every time. There was about a finger of fluffy bright white head. It's dissipating a bit. I've noticed that with new school West Coast IPAs because they're so heavily hopped. The head retention is not great, not a big deal. I can see bubbles in the glass. It's down to about a quarter of a finger now. But yeah, it's bright white and it is fluffy marshmallowy. So let's go ahead and shove our fat nose in this one. See what it's got. Oh, it smells so fruity. It smells pineapple-y. It's pineapple-y. It's got a cool stone fruity thing. It's got a ton of citrus, and it's got just a wee bit of dankness. I think it's got a good amount of earthiness too in it. Kind of earthy, dirty. That might be there. Is there Nelson in this? I think there is. But yeah, super it's fruity. Like I said, a little bit of dank, maybe some grassiness in it. But it's got Fidens hazy beer is very similar to Slice hazy beer. It's got that candy, Starburst, chewy candy. This smells like hop candy to me. Maybe even a little bit of lemon lime zest. It smells fucking awesome. I will say, almost 8.5%. It doesn't smell boozy. Maybe a little bit of that hop sweetness could be alcohol, but it doesn't smell hot or fusel. It smells like I want to chug this, but I'm not going to. So let's go ahead and taste it. Cheers. It's delicious. I will say it's crazy because I don't really think about mouthfeel when it comes to West Coast IPAs or West Coast double IPAs. This beer's got a full mouthfeel. It's got It almost drinks like a hazy, like a thick hazy beer. I was not expecting that. Maybe that's because it's double IPA. Taste very much follows the nose. It's super fruity, very citrus forward, but there's a nice bitterness to it, a nice bite, a nice think like rindy orange, grapefruit pith, little bit of like lemon limey kind of a thing. There is a sweetness on the finish. It's like a chewy kind of bread, like sourdough bread crust that just kind of works well with the hops. That bitterness isn't overpowering, but it stays throughout your entire, like from the front of your tongue all the way to the finish. It's a really dry beer though, which is crazy at 8.5% because it makes you want to chug it. For being the first time that they've done a West Coast double IPA like this, I would love a West Coast IPA. I've talked about it as I'm a fucking old ass man. Like I don't need to be drinking 8.5% beers all the time. A little bit of a lower ABV for me. I would love to see what they do with that, just because this is so flavorful still, even at 3 weeks in the can, which is not old, but people like drinking beer super fresh. I would love just to see like maybe a little bit like a beer with a little bit lighter of a body that doesn't drink as like thick and heavy as this one does. I don't know why I'm noticing that. I never do with clear beer, but this one I am. It's not a knock on it. When it's hot and humid like this, like this beer, it's thirst quenching, but it feels like a big beer. But that pineapple-y, stone fruity, just sweet citrus thing works well with the nice, like I said, bitter bite. That little bit of dankness that you smelled was there, but that sweetness on the finish, it works perfect with those hops. It's really good. This is a fucking great first attempt at a West Coast style beer. I had said it with the Roaring Table beer. This tastes like a beer I could get out here in San Diego. It tastes like what the guys are doing with these kind of new school, not crazy like on the heavy crystal malts, like just using lighter malts. The beer's lighter. It's more fruity. It's not crazy like just tongue numbing, old school like super bitter, resinous, piney, grassy overload. They're taking the fruity aspects of all these hops and they're packaging it in a crazy drinkable fashion, and I just love it. I can't get enough of these new school West Coast IPAs. I just can't. You guys notice on my channel, I've almost completely stopped drinking hazy beer. These beers are my wheelhouse. Like I said, 8.5% is not something that I fuck with much anymore these days. I'm in like that 6.5 to 7% range, but this beer it's awesome. It's a great first impression as far as a West Coast IPA goes. Love it. So that's Socratic questioning 42 from Fidens. I would love to see if anybody else from the East Coast had this and what they thought of it. Do you guys on the East Coast that are just haze bros, like, do you want to see more beers like this? I hope so, because I think we're going to see people starting to brew more of these, because even the brewers that I've talked to, they're like, dude, I love these new school West Coast IPAs. This is the shit that we all grew up drinking. So I know haze is a thing and it pays the bills, but I think deep down guys like drinking this. And that's not to say they don't like drinking hazy beers, but like, this is nostalgic. This is why we got into beer. I hope this kind of new school West Coast IPA is here to stay. So that is it. I am out of here. I will see you guys soon. Cheers.
Thank you for coming behind the bar, in the arcade, all that shit.
Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the view so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the shoe.